Hold on, wait. Before you click off, because I'm not at dock in a wetsuit with my foil, look what I've got here for you. Not 1, not 5, not 10, 13 common mistakes that I used to do and I see all the time beginners and intermediate pump foilers making. So no, I'm not at the dock, but I am pretty sure that since problems are fractal, the solution to all your pump foiling issues lies behind one of these folders. Alright, so let's get into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is the angle of attack. So the angle that your foil has in different phases of the flight. So I'm gonna first go through the incorrect form and then through the correct form. So we can see here, this is not my video, this is a video that Vincenzo kindly sent me and allowed me to use. And by the way, if you need some help, you can absolutely send me your footage. I'm gonna be happy to review it and give you tips. So we can see here that the angle of attack is wrong because Vincenzo is pressing, he's not really pressing, he's like charging the following hope when the board is still pitching up, as you can see, right? The board is pitching up and he's pressing to charge the following hope, right? So the foil is never pointing down, is actually pointing up all the time. And of course, this way you can gain height, but you will never be able to gain speed, right? You need to give the right oscillation to the foil. And you can also see it from this footage, from this video, which is mine. I was actually able to start, no, that's not true, I fell, but this is a video from like a year ago or something, and you can see that I wasn't able to start this foil, which I think is at 1300 from Axis, because I didn't give the right angle of attack to the foil, right? Of course, when you don't have height, it's kind of hard because you don't have room to pitch the board down, but you can clearly see that the reason why I wasn't able to pick up speed is because I didn't pitch the foil down, right? I didn't tilt the foil the right direction. And now you can see here from this video the right movement that the board should do, right? So you can see that I'm charging the following pump when the board is pointing down or it's flat. And I'm hoping when the board is flat. And then I'm shifting my weight, but that's a story for another folder, right? So that's that. Hopefully this helps. Let's move on to the next one. So arm swing, this is a good one, right? right? Because people are like, it helps me with the cadence. It helps me with balance. That's not the case, right? Because most probably if you're swinging your arms, you've got the wrong cadence and you don't have the right movement because you're just pumping with your arms like I did in this video. As you can see, this is the first time of me coming back to the dock after a decent loop. And I'm absolutely just pumping with my arms. I'm just swinging them like if I have to take off or something. So please don't do that. It's not gonna take you anywhere because you're never gonna learn the right movements. And I am pretty damn sure that if you're using your arms like this, you are not really listening to the foil, you're not really aware of what's going on, you're just trying to go on. So my best tip at the beginning is just act like your arms are super, are sticked to your trunk, to your body. So you don't use them at all. And then as you progress, you can actually implement a slight arm swing like I do in this video. Let me just show you. If we move a little bit, okay, you can see here. Actually, compared to what usually people do and what I did in that first video that I showed a second ago, I'm using more the arms when I go back, when they go back, and less when they go in front. In fact, as you can see, this part, like my bicep, is almost pretty much stuck, still in the same position. What's moving is the forearm, right? Because you don't really need to throw all your arms in front. This little gentle arm swing is more than enough to stay balanced and help you with cadence and just help you with the movements, which again, your arm swing should not dictate the movement, should just help you relieving your weight off the board. So my tip here is if you're struggling with the arm swing, so if you're really swinging your arms a lot, just imagine that your arms are stuck to your trunk, and then just shrug your shoulders, because that's gonna help you as much as, if not more, than swinging these arms, right? Because you're gonna be able to relieve your weight off the board, and you're not gonna be as heavy when you land back on the board to charge the following pump. So you're gonna be just more gentle, because we're gonna see later how you have to actually distribute your weights on the board, right, on the foil. Then back foot first. This is quite a simple one. You can see that many people, when they're drop starting, they are landing with the back foot first. Now this might seem a very, very subtle thing, but as you can see, you're not really able to give momentum to the forward momentum to the foil if you land with your back foot first. So ideally, you should land either with both legs at the same time, either with the front leg slightly before. Again, this is just for the drop start, not for the dock start. For dock start is actually the opposite. But as you can see here, I land with my front foot first, so that I give forward momentum to the board, and then I recover it and I go, right? All right, moving on, we've got bends over. So if you look kind of like this when you're pumping, which is what 90% of foilers are looking when they're pumping. So you are in this position, you are wasting a ton of energy, you're just pumping blood in your legs, and you're absolutely not efficient. We need to try and pump with the entire body, not just with our legs. And the way you do that is by stop doing this, right? You see that I'm super, super compressed. I'm never extending my legs. And we should start doing something more like I do here, right? As you can see, when I hop high and I'm straight on the foil, right? You can see here, I'm absolutely straight. I'm completely extended. Then, moving on. Hopefully you are finding some value inside this video, not just going through recordings on my own, right? So what is this? Cadence. This is a good one, because cadence is another thing that usually people struggle getting right, which is normal, because we are just always trying to maybe come back to the dock or whatever, like I do in this video, but we're not really understanding what we have to do and why and when. As you can see here, I have a super high cadence, and I'm pressing when the foil is still pointing up. In fact, I just lose height and speed, right? And you can also see it inside this video from Vincenzo again. The cadence is way too high, because what usually your brain tells you to do is to increase the cadence when you don't have height and speed. But it's actually quite the opposite, because what we have to do instead is to relieve our weight for a longer period of time, so that we give more time to the foil to rise underneath our feet, right? In fact, as you can see from this video, which I believe is with the 1250, I fall again, and then hopefully something happens, yeah. But as you can see, despite it's a small foil, actually because it's a small foil, look how I try to extend the first part, so the part where the board is tilted up, to be able to give time to the board to rise. You see? Try and extend the upper parts so that you give time to the foil to rise and then pitch down. All right? Because if you just suffocate the foil, it's never going to work. Then, this is a good one, by the way. delay. This is another very, very important thing that is quite difficult to get right at the beginning. This is the same video as before, and you can see that later on during the video, my board is tilting up and down a lot because I've got a ton of delay between back leg and front leg. It's kind of like when you're holding on the skate. And while this is kind of good at the beginning to pick up speed, the more you, once you reach the cruising speed, you should try and be as fair as possible with your legs, to be even with your legs. So it's almost like a squat. And it also depends on your foil, especially with these big lifty foils like the Jam, the Cyprus, and all this easy foil, I would say. It is very, very important that you just, like the delay is little to none, right? And as you can see from this clip with my Ketos, even if the Ketos is a quite high aspect, it's not super lifty, for being a pump foil set, right? You can see that from this onboard footage that there is little to no delay in my legs, in my knees. You can clearly see it, right? They are almost the same. So yeah, that's that. Then the feet placement. Again, a video from Vincenzo. This is quite hard to get right, and I can't tell you do this feet placement because like this, because of course it depends on your foil, on your board, and a ton of other factors. But I know that Vincenzo here is using a very, very lifty foil of Phantom 2200, something like that. A very, very big foil from F1. And with this foil, we need to really put a ton of pressure, a ton of weight in front to be able to pitch them down in the descending phase. Especially if you also have a long fuse and a big stab, because those are things that make the set even more stable. So you need even more weight to pitch the board down, right? As you can see, maybe moving the back foot a bit towards the front, and consequently even the front foot a bit more towards the nose. All right, and let me actually show you this video. I choose a video with the Cyprus because the Cyprus is just a little bit more similar in terms of amount of lift than this one compared to the Ketos, which is more back-footed, let's call it. So the Cyprus is still quite front-footed, and as you can see from this from this frame, it's quite far, but you can clearly look how much weight I'm putting in front. So not only my front foot is all the way to the front, not only my back foot is on top of the front wing and not on top of the mast, but also my shoulders are absolutely in front, right? Are above my front leg. Again, because I want to shift my weight and pitch the board down. So watch out your feet placement. If when you're pressing, you really feel that there is nothing to press, then most probably is your feet placement and your timing. So that's that. Then hands on the board. This is for the normal Dockstart, right? So if you are doing the normal Dockstart like this, please stop because it's not gonna work, right? You can make it work, but it's just way more unpredictable, and why would you, right? If you really cannot run on the dock with your hands on the board as you're supposed to, then just go with the drop starts, because the problem with this type of start is that you have all the disadvantages of the dock start and all the disadvantages of the drop start. So why would you do it, right? If you're flexible, you do the normal dock start with your hands on the board. If not, you do the drop start, and it's going to be easier because you don't have to jump high and then land gently somehow on the board. You're just landing on the board as gently as possible, and you're using the momentum that you have on the dock, since you are going to be higher than the board, to generate speed once you land on it. All right. So your dock start, if you're doing the classic dock start, should look something like this: run. Maybe you can lengthen the run if you feel like it, or if you have a small foil. But usually with a beginner and intermediate type of foils, 2 steps are more than enough. So you just do these 2 steps. You move your hands from the edge to the pads, so you control the lift, and then you just step on the, you're not even jumping on the board, you're just stepping on the board. Your back foot is going to land slightly before the front foot, and you don't detach your hands until your front foot is on the board as well, all right? And this is because here your weight is on your hands, here is still on your hands, here is still on your hands. Not all of it, but part of your weight is still distributed on your hands. And it's going to be way smoother. It's going to be easier to be gentle, because you can control the amount of weight on the foil, on the board, right? It's way more gradual. You're not just jumping on the board suddenly, and the board suddenly has your weight plus the energy that you generated by jumping higher than the board, right? I hope this is clear. It's kind of a difficult concept, but if you get it, it makes totally sense, right? Then, this is another one related to the drop start, actually. This is another video from Vincenzo, and as you can see here, the problem with this drop start is that he's jumping way higher than the board, which results in him losing a ton of height and not converting this energy into forward momentum once he lands on the board, as you can see. Of course, then it's much harder to generate speed when you don't have height and you didn't really use the energy in the first place, right? There is another video from Vincenzo, and by the way, this is not like a video, oh, come back. This is not like criticizing Vincenzo. It's just like using Vincenzo as an example. As you can see, he jumped quite high and he lost pretty much all the height he had. All right. Then pressing. This is pretty much what everybody's doing right at the beginning, because it's just what you see someone pumping and your brain thinks that we need to press somehow, just like I was doing. I was absolutely just pressing, and somehow, sometimes, for some reasons, I was going on. I was not falling or something, but of course, this is not the right way of pumping, right? Absolutely not. It's like breaking all the rules we've covered so far. Instead, what we are supposed to do is hopping. All right, I hope it's clear by now. I've done like 170 videos, but as you can see here, I'm not pressing. I'm just smoothly connecting hops. I'm just charging the following hop smoothly, right? You don't have to press. If anything, you have to be as gentle as possible. Like Ivan says, you need to try and think that you have eggs underneath your feet, and you need to be as gentle as possible. Sorry about that. So, stiff. This is another good one. The incorrect way is this one. So, this is not really bad pumping, right? It's a year ago in Switzerland. But especially towards the end, you can see that maybe because it's not my foil, maybe because it's cold, but you can see from my hands especially that I am super, super, super stiff, right? And you can also notice it from my legs and also my neck and my back. I'm super, super rigid. I'm stiff. And if you are this way, you're never going to be relaxed enough to pump properly, to pump smoothly, and to breathe most importantly, right? Instead, as you can see from probably this other video, you can see that, so let me see, even at the end, despite I'm probably tired, you can see from my hands and from actually my whole body that I'm still quite relaxed, all right? And that's what you should try and achieve. So focus on being relaxed with every single muscle you've got in you, all right? Then we finally get to the interesting part, because this is probably really amongst all, this is the most common, because I'm yet to find a person who is not putting way more weight on the back leg. And this is, by the way, the reason why your back leg burns sooner than the front leg. It's not because you need to change your feet placement necessarily. It's most probably because you are keeping all your weight at the back. And I can't blame you, because at the back, where the foil is, it's more stable. So like, we try and keep the weight there because we're more stable, we're a bit more comfortable on the foil. But actually, ultimately, as soon as possible, actually, we should try and switch our weights. And as you can see from this part of this clip, look how, like, my weight is completely in front. My shoulders, my center of balance is completely above my front foot. And that's what we should try and do. All right, as you can see, again, I'm lifting my back heel to really shift my weight towards the front so that I can tilt the board down and gain speed. All right? So don't keep your weight at the back. And this is actually the same thing. Very, very similar. Another clip from Vincenzo. What we were discussing about earlier on, you can see that he's pressing when the board is still pointing up and nothing is happening, right? He's relieving his weight off the board 100%, but he's relieving his weight vertically. He's not really shifting it towards the front as he relieves it, right? So relieve your weight off the board, yes, but also shift it towards the front to be able to tilt the board down for the descent. All right? And this actually was my last tip. All right? I'm not gonna bore you too much. It's the same clip. You can see that I'm really shifting my weight towards the nose when I'm hopping. All right? I am sure that you're doing at least 4 of these mistakes, right? So let me know in the comments if there is something that I didn't cover, right? Feel free to send me your footage via email or on Instagram. I'm gonna be happy to review it. And if you found this video useful, let me know with a like or again a comment, because I quite enjoy making these videos. So you can send me your recordings, you can tell me that you like these videos, and I can record other videos like this one. All right, so thank you for watching, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.